Welcome back. Game number 2. It's the finals of the finals. It's the qualifier of the qualifiers. And we're going to see which of these two dudes is about to join Moose Skills in the North American group that's scheduled to play out tomorrow night. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, it's the blue Protoss Root Gaming's Astrea.
Never left as the pink Zerg. It's my Insanity's Kane.
Alright, so Kane doesn't have a gold base to go to this game. He can't just cheese it up, because that's what we know Kane is only good at. He doesn't know how to play the macro game. He's a really bad player that went to Europe, learned nothing, came home because he was a failure, and only knows how to play Swarm hosts, right?
Yes, he also went to Korea to learn how to cheese and not macro and came back a worse player.
Wait, I thought he went to China.
He was in Korea.
Oh,
Wasn't
that's
he
right,
in
yeah,
Seppi?
because he saw, him and Suppy were on, like, Balloon stream. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and he went to GS. Man, I forgot all about these things from stupid
The point
Kane.
is, everything made him a worse player.
Yeah, he's just garbage. We're, of course, only saying this because I know Kane's probably vain enough to watch his own VOD. So what's up, Kane? How you doing, buddy? I know a lot of players actually will watch casts of them. I just don't know if he'll watch this one or not. But
I watch ones that I win.
I guess. You don't hear the casters saying, "Man, oh, the casters are so wrong. Of course I was doing this because of that. Idiots." But okay, so for Astrea's sake here, I mean, that was a really hard game to judge. It's a hard situation to be in the first place, and we have not really seen a definitive response that's the end-all be-all to stop someone who takes a gold like that. Counterattacks and pressure, like 4 gates towards the main, seem to have been the best cases. Some pressure towards the gold through stalkers, as they described last game, but regardless, we didn't get to see any of that. So for Kane's sake, easy win. What does Astrea do to bring this back? Do you think he goes Stargate? Do we see DTs? I mean, he's pretty gung-ho and going those in the PvP leading into this.
I think he's gonna go double Stargate and a carrier. He's up against, probably like what you would call a better Zerg player.
I would actually love if he did that, because he would lose the Swarm hosts. Not only did we see that earlier today in the European qualifiers, but I've actually cast Kane in those same situations before versus Stardust and versus Titan.
Yeah. If it was going to be a map where I would bring it up, it would be this one. I mean, the double Stargate and a Void Ray to surprise opponent that you think is going to go for a Swarm host, it can be really good. You can surprise them so quickly that they just don't have any anti-air, and it, you just win a couple minutes later. But that's kind of rare. I think Astrea is just going to go for Phoenix's Stargate.
No,
regular.
it's double Stargate carrier. You already called it. You can't go back. There's no changing. Everyone knows that when you're a caster, you're locked into everything you say. There's absolutely no adaptation.
Oh. All right, then I'll stick with it.
Please
Come
don't.
on, Astrea.
Rolling those dice. Nice pick off there. That's actually gonna. Wow, that's gonna delay warp tag for quite some extra time. Yeah, if he starts putting chronos into it, might not even be for a 4 gate. It might just be to make up for the pylon being lost.
Yeah. Not too many overlords for Kane in a position to scout. Oh, wait, there's one tucked in the back there. Oh, I didn't see you, buddy.
What a
There he
cute
is.
patootie.
Not exact. No, actually, overlords are probably the least cute thing.
Huh?
They're funny in Carbot, but they're not cute.
Look at those eyebrows they got. Oh, they're like wiggling. What's all this
They're
about?
not eyebrows. They're like whiskers. Or whatever you
Tendril
call
whisker
things.
things?
Tendrils whisker things. Like it's the thing like cats. That
Not
if they're
9,
too
not
fat, they won't
11,
fit through a
but
they won't fit
tendrils?
through a space.
Okay, well, that's a great analysis of this game so far.
Yes, exactly. First blood. Yay. Very important.
Rip.
No, it's really not.
Bonus 100 minerals for Kane.
I don't know about setting this overload in right now.
It
I
does
guess it
feel
would've
a bit
seen, like-
early. Yeah.
It might have seen the pylon where 3 gates were going to be thrown down, but would have seen the 3 gateways.
I guess, yeah, that's the big question of, like, what Kane's going to be afraid of most, right? Like, do you send this in early because you're worried about gateway aggression, or do you send it a little bit later because you want to see if it's a Stargate versus a Robo? Either way, it kind of dies for nothing, and we've actually seen a solution where there's some Zerg players out there who have been preferring to go for, like, Overlord speed first. I know Seppi was doing this for a little bit of time, and once upon a time, Happy Zerg was very adamant about it. Destiny's actually done it in recent days, too, and it's one of those things where, like, if it's worth the investment, you keep the Overlord alive, but that does cost you gas in the early game, something you don't have a lot of.
Well, I actually got a Robo, so I'm afraid there won't be any carrier openers this game. Shucks. So now the question is, of course, what is he going to do with that? Is he going to go into a Emerald Sentry Lane off of this? But it's only a 3-gate, so it really isn't that much pressure.
No, I think this is a fake out. He's throwing on a fake robotics facility so that Kane won't suspect that it's really carriers behind it. I got your back.
You said that so seriously at first. I was like, I'm going to listen to this and give it some like actual like credit before I say no.
I've been gone for 3 series at this point. You're silly.
That-
Your naivety is cute.
I did, I think, call it correctly, though. We got an Immortal on the way. We got a Forge. Another Immortal, Warp Prism. Definitely going to be an Immortal Sentry Lane. I guess you could just expand off of it, too. Like, unless we see a couple of gateways being thrown down right now. But, you know, Kane has this big force out here. It's not... It is speed links, okay. So a third's going to be kind of hard to take.
Well, the big thing about this is going to force a lot of force fields to be used at home defensively. He's also going to see how many sentries there are, so he might just pull back out of this and go back home and get ready to defend. Either way, like, now he's fully aware of what's coming, because you don't just casually make 6-7 sentries while you're planning to go for, like, Colossus or a Stargate.
Well, you do when you want to go for a third. I think it's what he's going to do. Simply because he stopped making Immortals. If he was, like, coroning out that Immortal and then a Warp Prism, I'm like, yeah.
I don't know. Kane just showed his hand, so to speak. Whether it's a bluff for an attack, whether it was like him actually hoping to get this one off guard.
Wow! Oh, Astrea just wrecked you so hard.
What?
You said I don't think you go that many sentries if you're going for Colossus or whatever.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, in terms of like what's going on right now. Like when you see that for the opener, like there's not fast Colossus into like.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll give you that
Like,
one.
it's not like when you're fighting against
Unwrecked.
Terran. No, I'll take the wrecked. I'll take the reckoning. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I won't bear
Your
that
mana.
cross.
Alright, alright. It's the same. It's definitely the same. Well, I mean, it's 2 Immortals, but yeah, the Colossus is on the way, right? So, I don't know if he's really going to attack off of this. With a recall available, you can always attack and recall back to the natural. And, you know, pressure while expanding is definitely one of the age-old sayings in StarCraft 2. When you attack, you expand. When they defend, you expand. When they attack... No, wait, I can't remember.
It's like the Art of War.
Yeah, exactly. Written by Artosis.
Just finish up that quote with a nice little tiny George Washington, probably.
Nice. Really here. Really good force fields right
really
there.
Here. It is really here.
It really is here.
Not over there, but over here.
Oh, but links go everywhere.
This is like a Dr. Seuss book now. Okay, the roaches are a little bit too slow to get in on the action, but you're right. Like, lings do go over inside the main. They're not getting that many kills, though. The Zealots were working really nicely defensively with the mineral line. They created this weird little wall there between the mineral lines, and now the army's been drawn back home. Not a lot of probes died. 3 went down for this. This could have been so much scarier.
Yeah. We got a Spire on the back of this, though, and that's a little scary. Astrea is getting Twilight, or getting Blink. +2 might just die.
The Force Field's gonna go down and try to protect it. Oh, he will save it. It's so awkward to see, but that's cool. That's cool. Warp Prism a little bit awkward, tries to go for the attack while this is going on. Rallied forward, of course, so it's not going to get a lot done as the army was already on the way back, and Kane is going to hold against this.
Oh, but the third was canceled and or killed.
While this goes on, we also have the Spire finish up in a moment's time, so Mutalisk is definitely something he's going to be looking to go towards, should he be able to get away with it. We've seen on so many different occasions, from so many different players, just how good Mutalisk can be in every matchup when controlled correctly, and Kane, he's the guy who got faith in to control them correctly.
He also has a lot of roaches on the ground. You know, still at 25 roaches. Oh, that Spire was for Corruptors. I didn't notice he got the Hydras then, but yeah, Roach Hydra, Corruptor.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Corruptors. TBH.
It's an old style that almost always feels like it's an emergency. Like, oh crap, like a roach attack didn't work. I need anti-air because Colossus is out.
But that's the thing. There actually wasn't Colossus out, right? Like the first one's coming now, I guess, or second one rather. The first one's
wasn't
the army, but
yeah, it wasn't that big of a hurry to get anti-air. It's only gets 3 Colossus, and you're like, oh shit. With a good concave, you'd be able to deal with one for sure. But you know, having Corruptors is obviously good. The other choice would have been to go for a hive. That's usually what we see nowadays, is that they think they figure out they have enough time to do so, and they choose to go for the hive. It gives you better benefits. The game goes on, where Corruptors, they're lair, you know, and they're gross.
Well, the Corruptors just helped pay for themselves. Picked up that Warp Prism full of Zealots. Not too shabby.
Mm-hmm. Also going to be attacking here, actually. And Astrea's going to have Blink and +2 as he's saved to that forge. Dark Shrine finishing up as well, and I do not believe there's a whole lot of detection out in the field. It's going to do a lot of damage.
Fuck that stalker in particular.
Where are the drones going?
Pulling the boys, build some sport colors. I don't know.
That's going to be a miss.
Rally with the army.
It's odd. It's very odd.
Man
Astrea incorporating more immortal is a little interesting. I guess he saw the corruptors and was like, I'm done with Colossus.
Yeah. I mean, even with the hallucinations there, they're still going to get taken out pretty quickly, I feel. It's going to be really hard to keep them all alive. But if the Stalkers decide to fire on the Corruptors instead of the Roaches, that just gives the Roaches a little more free reign to get on top of the Sentries, get on top of the Immortals, get on top of the important units.
It's like a small attack is prepared. Kane is definitely posturing to attack Astrea. Astrea, though, I mean, he's got a decent army supply. He's definitely down by about 17. Of course, some Mothership Core is going to help out with that and good force fields. This was not a good segment of army, though. Bad Immortal, those Stalkers. Why?
Well, breaking through the back rocks or something. I don't think he was quite prepared to have happen. Like, I think he knew it was going to come, not this quickly. Either way, Roaches to make it to the middle line. Whole position, going to try and pick up a couple probes. If the rest of the army comes, you betcha Kane pounces. But he's actually pushing out with us, and this could be a small mistake. He knows the army's here because the Observer was here earlier, but walking into a concave, Kane's going to disengage.
I definitely would have targeted down that Dark Shrine. Having that out of the game is such a good feeling, but instead he just dies, gets a couple of probe kills. Kane decided to go into Mutas after getting all these Corruptors, but the Corruptors just seem very powerful when there's not a whole lot on the ground, and then they seem less and less powerful as the Protoss gets maxed out. So you do have to transition to something else. I just would have figured it would have been a Vipers.
Yeah, I think, well, the Corruption's going to certainly help. I think the Glaive Worms, actual mutilate damage, do a little bit more, but interesting base steal from Kane. This probably won't go scatter for a bit of time. Cool. Roaches beat out the Immortals. Force Fields do go down, going to keep Kane's ground army at bay. As good as the Mutas are, they're not high enough in number to deal with a Stalker count this year. He actually has to have his full army, I guess, collide on this. Not a lot of Force Fields are left, but just enough to get another full wall off.
He could use the Mutas as well as the Corruptors to target down those Colossus. I gotta imagine that's his plan, just because he's getting so many Lings. You need to get rid of the Colossus if you plan on swamping with Lings. They come in a little awkwardly, though. Good force field as well. There we go. Targeting on the Colossus.
Everything he's got going into these. No corruption goes in. I think lacking of corruption is a big problem there. A lot of those probably would have died from that one volley otherwise. Either way, decides to disengage, but there's still so many Stalkers. Plus 2 weapon upgrades. 14 more Lings around the way, but the army supply is really not that close. We consider some of this isn't Corruptors. Drones being pulled into this. Kane is getting really desperate to hold on to this. Despite the fact that he's got another 2 bases up over his opponent, it's not going to cut it if he can't win the war.
The ground is starting to be okay, but he'd lose all of those Mutas that are trying to get up to. 8 more on the way, 30, 40 more Lings. If they can come out, they will be able to take care of Blink Stalkers, and there's no reinforcement point.
They don't have plus 2 weapon upgrades, they have plus 1 weapon upgrades. Like, they're going to be naked Lings, but you're right. Enough of them can swamp hard enough. But filtering 1 or 2 at a time like this isn't going to cut it. We'll take out some of the Stalkers on the left, though. Starting to break this. He's lost a lot of drones coming into this fight, though. Astrea doesn't really have a whole lot to fall back on the back of this. Yeah, it was kind of borderline all in, but he's still warping in units. He's still got money to work with, and Kane is down to 34 drones.
He definitely would have been winning. Like, he would have won already had he had the closer pylon. He has been reinforcing from his own third.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes. He just realized that's the problem and sends a probe over.
I wonder how he plans to use the base he stole. Like, just simply block it out, like the most advanced creep block ever, or
I guess so.
Mine off of it.
He's just gonna really regret not having those 300 minerals.
Oh, there's some confusion in chat, guys. I am a guy. I know my voice probably doesn't sound like it, just for the confusion out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm also a 13-year-old boy.
Scarlet.
What?
Do you remember we had that stint, like, for 3 months? Everyone thought you were Scarlet for some reason?
Everyone thinks I'm Scarlet.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Like, what?
Because I'm the only, like, a girl who plays StarCraft. That's gotta be Scarlet.
But, like, if you've heard Scarlet, you don't sound anything like Scarlet.
No, I don't. No, like, actual voice, the way that we talk. Whatever.
Well, Kane's sneaky base being taken apart here, but forward reinforcement for Lings. I think the scary thing for Astrea, though, is like both players are kind of getting to that point of the game where no one's going to have a lot of money left. Astrea doesn't have an extra base, and Kane doesn't have a lot of minerals. Or workers, rather.
Losing Corruptors suck, but at least you have a more realistic expectation of your army supply.
Yeah, that's true.
These DTs warped in are not going to really work out here. Kind of a waste, really.
Kane's starting to get some momentum. Astrea's forced to turn around. He's racing to get back on with these Blink Stalkers. Running away from the Blink Stalkers. He's going to try and use speed against his mobility. Tries to get on top of this third. Probe should go down here, but we'll see if he can get enough to really equalize the game. Again, neither player really has a huge income, and neither player really has a booming economy to speak of.
Zealots went into the third of Kane as well. You've called even more drones, and we'll get third. On the 28, so that's good.
The recovery at this point is so difficult. Neither player is going to want to start cutting into their army production because they know they need their army supply really high to stay in this game. Third base from Kane's going to fall, but still mining off the fourth, so not that big of a deal, but still hurts nonetheless.
Yeah. Kane is just trying so hard to get that really great amount of mutas, but it's only 13 versus 23 stalkers. That's still not enough. And Astrea still has the option to make DTs and make them into Archons, which will obviously help a lot.
I think that is kind of the key thing too. Like when it's low upgrades like this, I think Archon's going to be the kingmakers. You know, whether it's dealing with the mutas or dealing with the Lings, their damage is just way too buff with that splash.
Kane. And keep counterattacking is definitely his best bet. Buying time, making sure Astrea can't have that kill move. Maybe he will get up to that unmanageable amount of mutas. It's a stretch, and he's not really droning either.
Well, he is. Actually, you're wrong. Sorry.
As I said it, he made 2 drones, not exactly droning.
I actually made them before you said it. I'm sorry.
Ricken. When's the last time you ate?
Maybe if you knew what you're talking about, people would watch us more.
Maybe we're such a fedora tipper, people would watch us more.
Okay, so
these are really dirty.
Okay, so yeah, just a little bit. Third base being ransacked right now by Kane. Gonna catch so many of the probes remaining. Astrea down to 22 workers, not in great shape, but at the same time, back at home, Kane's got nothing to stop the Blink Stalkers. Gets underneath the Mutalisk, picks off 3 or 4 of them right away. And oh my god, there's no spines up, there's no Zerglings at home. Like, is this just a base trade scenario? Is that what he's been forced into?
Yeah, but he lost all of the mutas. It's a terrible base trade.
Oh, the rocks are still up. He can't escape out of the back.
Quick, brothers, attack! Punch.
No, we're pacifists. There you go. Pacifists.
What's the word for passive people?
Yeah, what's it's like you call somebody. What's your ask for the phone number? Like,
you know, people who are into fashion are fascists.
Dude, Jessica, what's your name? Like, I can't.
This is going not so bad, really. I mean, okay. Kane's only option is to literally kill the last building. Actually win, as StarCraft is supposed to be meant to win. I don't think he can take on the army anymore. But he has a decent shot of doing that. I mean, Astrea, with 400 minerals, does he have a probe out on the map? Bro.
Yes, he had one up at the top left.
No, there's
somewhere.
0 probes.
Oh wow, got picked up. Okay,
Could you know what I'm talking about?
I was literally just looking at the camera, so I assumed it was still alive. Okay. Oh, Kane, don't take this fight. This is not gonna work.
Because the Lings are trapped.
Yeah.
GG, Astrea.
Ties up the series 1-1. Fuck. I mean, congrats. It's gonna give us a game 3. Ah!
By the way, how has no one taken your pro